Did you know that people with ASD most often have some other kind of disorder too? For example, 28% of people with ASD also have ADHD, 20% also have anxiety disorder, and 12% also have depression. A quick message to neurotypical wives. If you find that your autistic husband does not want to discuss things with you, especially relationship problems, or if you find that he's actually lying to you, either directly or lying by omission, I'm not saying it's right, but he's doing that because he doesn't trust you. Why doesn't he trust you? Because he's afraid to talk about things or uncover things for fear that it will result in conflict. And conflict raises anxiety. So if you find that he's not cooperating with you, he doesn't want to discuss things with you, he's even lying to you, it's all about anxiety reduction. I'm not saying it's right, but he doesn't trust having conversations with you. The spouse with ASD may appear to have an air of superiority or even arrogance and an apparent lack of respect for the knowledge of others. He's also highly intelligent and gifted in some areas, but he may lack common sense in other areas. A quick message to neurodiverse couples. Did you know that the behavior that you point out to your spouse is the behavior that's likely to increase? For example, if you point out the things that they're doing wrong, how they're failing you, how they're falling short, they're likely to increase that behavior despite you. If you point out what they're doing right and what you appreciate, they're likely to increase that behavior to please you. Because of having a high state of ongoing anxiety, many people with ASD find that their brain goes straight to the worst case scenario in a variety of situations. This is called catastrophizing, which means that negative thoughts can spiral extremely fast. People on the autism spectrum are also highly influenced by negative past experiences. So if he or she has struggled with relationships due to not understanding social rules, or they found school or work very difficult because of experiencing meltdowns or shutdowns, then they're more likely to go straight to the negative conclusions based on these past negative experiences. Hey, did you know that your autistic spouse is allergic to the 3 C's? Yeah, he's allergic to conflict, he's allergic to criticism, and he's allergic to crowds, especially noisy crowds. So when you're trying to make sense of him, think allergy, 3 C's. Hey guys, this is Mark. And I just had to share a situation that I ran into recently with a client. I was working with a couple, and about 45 minutes into our 60-minute session, she said, this is not what I expected. I said, oh, what were you expecting? She goes, talk therapy. I said, well, I don't do talk therapy. And both of these couples, both the ASD husband and the NT wife, were seeing their separate therapists. And so I said, since you guys are already seeing therapists, what is he doing with you? She goes, talk therapy. I said, and you're still having problems with your marriage? Yeah. So you're getting neurotypical advice from someone who has no idea how to deal with neurodiverse marriages where one spouse is ASD level 1, and you've been talking for how many years? How many years have you been talking? How many years have you been going to a therapist and you have talk therapy? Okay, now you do need to talk to somebody, and you do need to have an emotional vomit in somebody's lap. There is some value in that, but talking doesn't solve problems. So in the event that you want to come to me, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to have a bunch of questions. And when you answer these questions, I'm going to have even more questions about those answers. So it's going to be more of a Q&A session with me, with the end goal of that session to be, I'm going to be providing some recommendations based on what we talked about. So if you just want to talk to somebody, I don't want any advice, I just want to talk. Okay, that's fine. It's not going to happen with me. There's been too much talking and not enough action. If you are in a neurodiverse marriage where one spouse is autistic and the other one is not, and you've been struggling for years and years, and you're kind of sick and tired of the routine, talk to me. Use me as your personal coach. I have groups, and I keep these groups small so that you can get a lot of one-on-one attention. I have 3 Q&A groups, one for ASD husbands,
one for neurotypical wives, and I have a couples group where both spouses can attend. I also have 2 instructional groups, Cassandra Syndrome Recovery Group, to help you cultivate some strategies to recover from years of emotional deprivation, and the Men's Masterclass, in which we take a deep dive on developing social skills and emotional literacy in the context of the neurodiverse marriage. We meet 1 hour a week for 4 weeks. These are face-to-face Skype calls. So how much longer are you willing to wait? The links are below in the description area, and also they're pinned in the comments section.